Hi there, I am Ismail from Pearl Lemon, and today we are going to be looking at AI content in SEO. We need to have an honest conversation about what AI content is actually doing to the internet. Not the polished version where AI is a productivity tool that helps creators do more. The real version, where entire topic areas that real people spent years building are being hollowed out from the inside by machines generating thousands of articles a day with no expertise, no experience, and no consequence for being wrong. This isn't coming, it's already here. And the niches being destroyed first are the ones that deserved to survive the most. Problem number one, it's indistinguishable enough to rank, and that's all it needs to be. The argument used to be that AI content was obviously bad, robotic, repetitive, and factually thin. And early on, that was true. That argument is now dead. Modern AI content is fluent enough to pass casual reading, structured correctly enough to satisfy on page SEO signals, and optimized well enough to target the right keywords. It doesn't need to be excellent, it just needs to be good enough to rank above the human who spent 3 days researching on the same topic. And at the scale it's being deployed, hundreds of articles a day per domain, good enough repeated infinitely, beats excellent published occasionally every single time. So it's about the volume with which SEO content is being published. Problem number two, the niches that built real communities are being hit the hardest. Think about who actually built the internet's best content over the last 20 years. Personal finance bloggers who went through bankruptcy and wrote about climbing out. Travel writers who spent months in a country learning its culture. Health writers who managed chronic illness and documented every step. These people created genuine value because they had a genuine experience. Now they are competing with operators running AI content farms targeting these exact same keywords, publishing 50 times faster with a content budget that's basically zero. The experience gap that used to be their competitive advantage means nothing to an algorithm that cannot feel the difference. Problem number three is that Google created this problem and is now pretending to solve it. Here's the part that should make you angry. Google's entire helpful content push, which is the EEAT, the helpful content system, the emphasis on first-hand experience, was a direct response to AI content flooding their index. They created the incentive structure that made SEO content the dominant format on the internet. They built the algorithm that rewards volume and keyword optimization over genuine depth. And now that AI can produce volume and keyword optimization infinitely and for almost nothing, they are scrambling to redefine quality in ways that are almost impossible to algorithmically enforce. They built the game. AI learns to play it perfectly, and the real creators are the ones losing. Problem number four. The long-term damage is to trust, and trust doesn't come back easily. Here's what doesn't get discussed enough. When someone searches for symptoms of a medical condition and lands on an AI-generated article that sounds authoritative but is subtly wrong, they don't know is wrong. When someone reads AI-generated financial advice that's technically legal but contextually terrible for their situation, they follow it. The damage isn't just to rankings or traffic. It's to the implicit trust that people have in finding accurate information through search. Once a niche is saturated with confident-sounding misinformation, the entire ecosystem loses credibility, and rebuilding trust in a topic area after it's been poisoned is generational work, not a content sprint. The only content AI cannot replicate at scale. So what do you do if you're a real creator in a niche that's being flooded? The honest answer is that you stop competing on information and start competing on identity. AI can reproduce facts, but it cannot reproduce you. Your specific story, your documented failures, your named sources, your face on camera explaining something you actually lived through cannot be generated at scale. The creators surviving this shift are the ones moving towards formats AI structurally can't fake. Original research with proprietary data, first-person narrative that requires lived experience, and also community-driven content where the audience itself is the value, and video where the presence and personality are the product. The written SEO article as a primary format is not dead yet. But for anyone building a content business today, treating it as your foundation is a serious strategic risk. AI content isn't just a Google problem or an SEO problem, it's an internet problem. And the people who built the best corners of it are being asked to compete with machines that don't sleep. Don't charge. They don't charge. They don't care about what happens to the neighborhood. So you need to adapt and you need to get ahead of the curve. Try and project the things about you that cannot be replicated anywhere in your content, and you will just find yourself in front of the curve. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.